Hey guys, Woods Farm here, Project 222, just back out in the shop working on the Scout car. We are going to start to work on the mechanical stuff that we need to wrap up to finish the turret mechanism, probably get that other seat figured out and installed. So stick around and check it out. Okay guys, first things first, we want to wrap up some of the loose ends that we had last year when we stopped working on the vehicle, particularly finishing up the turret mechanism. Basically, we need to attach the pintle to the actual turret itself so the whole thing spins as one unit. I have a few ideas of how I'm going to do that, but it's going to be kind of like a work in progress. We also need to make the other seat, and I think I'm going to make some adjustments to what I had for the seat last year, try to improve that a little bit. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. It's pretty tight fit working in here, especially with the turret mechanism. You can see how it spins. And what needs to happen is it needs to get connected to the turret itself. You can see at the back there's a mounting plate and that kind of large U bracket made out of channel. That is what will attach to the back mounting bracket. It'll have sort of some adjustability built into it, and it should also be able to flex a little bit side to side. So I'm going to have to design some sort of a bolt or a bushing that will connect that. Once that's complete, I'm going to move on, and there's basically the same thing on the front. So just up in this area, connecting down to the mount here somewhere in this area. I've already got something started. I may redesign it, but we'll go from there. Other thing we got to work on is the seat on the other side. I'm basically going to follow this same design. It's very similar to the original. It has a lot of adjustability built into it. But we do need to replace this seat with something better. We found last year test driving it, that seat was, barely big enough. So now the issue being is not a lot of space in here. So I don't know what we're going to do for a seat, maybe something from a tractor that has a bit of a back, but we'll figure that out later. The main thing is getting the mount for the seat on the other side. Okay, here's where we're at. I've got the turret itself mounted to the pedestal. You can see that there's a bushing there and a pin, and it will allow it to kind of move and float side to side. There's also adjustability, so you can kind of adjust it up or down. However, I did run into a couple of problems with getting everything lined up. It was very difficult to get the turret lined up and centered with the pedestal. Luckily, I built a lot of adjustability into everything. Remembering back to that original video where I did the pedestal, you can adjust it side to side and forward and back. So it took some figuring out just to get it centered and get the turret centered, but it looks good now. It's getting very tight to work in here now. My head is actually touching the ceiling of the garage as I stand in here. But so one of the problems I came into is this bracket piece here I fabricated a long time ago, and after everything's lined up, it is just a little bit too short by like at least an inch, but probably even 2 inches. It could go back further towards the mount. The other problem is I just built these kind of, and you can see to get it to line up, that bolt hole needed to line up with the position of this mounting bracket, which is basically centered in the back line of the turret there. I actually, the other day to get this to line up, I don't know if you can see that I've got a couple of washers in there and it shimmed, and that it was to get it to actually line up. Okay, so at the end of the day, it is working. I do have the turret clamped in place. I do not want to mess around with the alignment right now and show you it moving, but I did test it out the other night. Now, those two mounting points that are shimmed, especially the one on the back that's too short, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the time and refabricate those so everything aligns up just right. It'll take a little extra time, a little extra materials, but I think at the end of the day, just focusing on getting it to line up really good right now will probably pay off down the road, especially if we have to make some more fine tuning and adjustments to get it to rotate. So I'm going to wait for materials. I got to buy some more 1 inch by 2 inch channel to finish that back piece. But in the meantime, I'm going to work on that, rebuilding that mounting plate to give me a little bit of more height adjustment at the back. And I'll probably work on the front as well a little bit and get this turret sorted out so it works properly. Okay guys, we're gonna wrap this video up here. Got the turret mechanism working. It's attached to the pedestal and it rotates as one solid unit. You can control it with the hand wheel. So I'm really happy with the way it's working. It is a little rattly. I think that's got a lot to do with the thin material, but also it's rolling on steel roller bearings. I'm going to try replacing them with nylon, and I think that'll quiet it down. It also needs some minor adjustments. I think it's rubbing at the back a little bit, and I think I can adjust that and also kind of take some of that scraping noise out. But the main thing is it works, and we will be able to use it. It does function, so pretty happy with that. Also, I finished that loader commander seat on the other side. Both the seats are kind of small, but the main seat mechanism is there and is functional, so it'll be easy to upgrade to larger seats down the road. The next video, we're going to be working on the front of the car. We're going to work on the bumper and the skid plate and maybe some of the other attachments up at the front end, like the tow hooks, things like that. So definitely come back and check that video out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching.